What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV Daily, your source for daily tech news. How is everyone doing? We have a couple of news stories and a bunch of questions, so let's dive into the tech news. Our first story of the day, OnePlus 10 Pro. We've seen renders of this phone. What about a case? So remember, this is going to have that crazy camera setup on the back. As you can see right here, the 4 camera setup, or whatever, 3 cameras and then a flash. But ultimately, it's kind of crazy and weird. Do you like it? Let me know in the comments down below. That's a case render for it. Next up, the Realme GT 2 Pro. Now, this won't be released in America most likely, but still, you might want to see what it's going to look like, especially if it's going to come out in your neck of the woods. And when we take a little diver deep into the 9-in-1 mobile site, you can see that the Realme GT Pro marketing name has been confirmed by the company. The GT2 Pro render reveals a Nexus 6P like camera module that houses triple cameras on the back right there. You also get key specs on there, such as the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, which is the top end Snapdragon processor, a 6.8-inch WQHD plus display with 120 hertz refresh rate on there, and a 50 megapixel triple camera setup, and the price rumored to be as little as $799. Not bad for a flagship phone, if you ask me. Next up is about the Galaxy S22 Ultra, and this phone is going to be out in a couple of months from now. Basically, the beginning of February is when it should be launched and released. And again, that's what, like 2 months away. But you gotta check out these renders for this case for the Galaxy S22 Ultra, because it makes the phone look so sexy. Like, and it puts into context that P-shaped camera that we had thought about what it was going to look like potentially, and we had some moments with it. Check this out. So this is obviously, like I said, a case render. And when you go in here and just look at how beautiful this phone is, and the purple, and just like the camera layout, and just everything of the squared off edges, it looks so cool. I love the look of this, and I just wish it folded and had a huge display. But regardless, that's just my own personal wants on a phone. But yeah, very beautiful phone. I think a lot of people are gonna be attracted to this, not only because the camera setup is fairly unique or whatever, but also the squared off edges to give them that squared look from the previous Note phones. And if that color comes in just like this, I think it's really going to turn some heads. It's really good looking phone. Let me know what your thoughts are on the comments down below about that phone, because that is your question of the day. With that said, let's jump into the Q&A portion of the video and drop that beat. First question comes from Dave. Hey Greg, what do you think the Google Play system update will happen? Mine is still on June, thanks. Are you talking Google Play Store update? It should just roll out. It should just be pushed out to you. If you probably can go into the APK site. Let me think. I can't think what it's called. Google Play APK. There's a site that you should be able to push it. APK Mirror. It's a pretty legit site, apkmirror.com. Go to that site and look for the Google Play Store and see if there's a newer update that you can download and install on your phone. Sachin Achara said, great content as always, Greg. Thank you. Best wishes from Nepal. That's awesome. Question, S22 Ultra will have a new telephoto and periscope lenses. Both of them are smaller in sensor size compared to the S21 Ultra. Is that a bad move by Samsung? How much of improvement will camera be on the S22 Ultra over the S21 Ultra? I really hope it will be a 256 base storage at lower prices to the S21 Ultra. Thanks. Good day to you. So in terms of it being a smaller sensor, is it going to be worse in terms of the photos that it produces versus the S21 Ultra? I think, at least I would hope, that in the grand scheme of things, the S22 Ultra will still take better photos, but I think it'll be very marginal. I don't think we're going to see this huge difference. Not that you usually do almost any phone, but you do see some differences. I think we're going to see thinly, when I say thin, I think it's going to be very thin, the photo differences of last generation versus this generation. I'll be gladly wrong, but I think that's what we're going to run into this time. Next question comes from Gunther. Hey Greg, this time I got a question about the 43-inch XB80J 4K LED TV. I bought it for Black Friday and would like to know your thoughts on it, since this is the first smart TV I ever bought and I'm mainly using it for video games and movie. Keep up the great content as usual. I haven't had a Sony. It's funny, I was talking to someone yesterday They said they love their Sony TV. I haven't had a Sony TV in a long time. Like I've never had a flat screen Sony TV. I've always gotten, the last one I had was the, I can't even remember what they're called, but they were flat screen TVs, but they were like the fat ones. I cannot remember what they call those. If you remember, put it in the comments down below. So I don't, and I've never seen that TV or held it, but I will say Sony generally makes really nice products. So I'm assuming you probably got a really nice TV, especially for the price. You should be good with it. I wouldn't have any hesitations, I guess. Sharif Shazan, hi Greg, how are you? I know we know this won't happen until the S22 Ultra, but don't you wish that the S23 Ultra brought dual screens like the Xiaomi 11 Ultra, being able to use the 200 megapixel camera as a selfie camera with that small screen? I already have a better main camera doubling. So basically, you're talking about, there's Xiaomi makes a phone and they have a little screen on the back here. Do I wish that the S22 Ultra or any Samsung phone had that? Yes, I think it's a pivotal part at this point to have something like that, because now you could use that phone, that little screen right there, for selfies, to check your notifications, not to maybe do everything on your phone, but to do like some basics that come in really, really handy. So I'd really like to foresee more companies put a display right next to the cameras. Goon Squad, so now that the Note 20 are discontinued, are you still going to hold on to it or move on? I don't have a Note 20. I haven't had it for a while. I traded that in, I can't even remember, but I believe I traded it in for the S21 Ultra, but I could be wrong. I can't even remember which phone I traded in, but yeah, I haven't had it for a while, so it doesn't really bother me. It's not there. Tara Pili Industries, are you ready for the phone design this week? I'm not really sure which phone you mean, because I just copied all the questions. I forgot to look to the right what this was pulled from. In terms of which phone you're talking about this week, is any phone being released this week? So I guess add a little more context, I'm sorry. And last question comes from Alberto Aguilar. Do you think the S22 will have an SD card slot since they will be replacing the Note 20 Ultra? No, there should not be an SD card slot in that phone. I think they're completely done with that, unless it's probably a lower to mid-range phone. Maybe they'll add it to that, but their top range phones, I don't think they're gonna add it anymore. It's not in Apple's phones, it's not in Google's phones. It's really not in really any other phones in America that are top tiered phones at this time, so you're probably never gonna see it again. Thanks for watching. If you have a question, leave it in the comments below with the word question. I'll answer it, and we'll see you down the road. Peace.